I went from a 370-pound overweight teenager with an eating disorder who honestly couldn't see his own dick in the mirror, who had zero ambition in life to the point where he attempted suicide twice, to losing over 150 pounds, becoming the fittest and healthiest he's ever been, and also having the privilege to help over 100 plus people lose 50 pounds. My name is Adam, aka Puffy, aka puffygotbuffy, and this is my weight loss story. Now, this video is going to be full of all the struggles that I've had to face from being an obese teenager, having eating disorders, having a bunch of super serious health complications, and having to deal with a lot of BS for a majority of my pre and teenage years. But this is also how I changed everything and saved myself from dying from obesity. You see, I was pretty much fat my entire life. You know, when you're younger, you go through a chubby phase. Or some people do. A lot of kids do. They go through like this little chubby phase where they kind of eat too many Happy Meals. Their parents don't really care that much because they think they're gonna like grow out of it, which, let's be real, a lot of kids do, right? But I never did. Back when I was 6 years old, as you can imagine, I was a pretty normal kid. I was playing sports, even though I wasn't the best. I never learned how to skate, but I was such a good goalie because I was so chubby then that I would just lie down sideways. And at that age, nobody knew how to kick the ball upwards. So I had a bunch of clean sheets. I was a really good goalie. And because of this, I was pretty popular and I had a bunch of friends at school. But then I developed an eating disorder called ARFID, which I didn't know at the time. I really only found this out like a decade later. This is where I'd eat pretty much the same foods over and over again, which was pizza, hot dogs, chicken fingers, French fries. And I would do this for the next 11 years of my life. So when I tried to eat really anything other than those four foods, with the exceptions of pretty much a lot of things to do with junk food. So of course, whether it's chips or chocolate, it was fine. But with anything other than those foods, my body would reject and I'd actually throw up or start gagging. It wasn't really a pleasant experience. And since I was eating nothing but those foods for pretty much 11 years straight, obviously, I became bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where I didn't even look like a normal human being. Now, at this point, my social life kind of started to hit rock bottom. I wasn't really as popular as I used to be because I wasn't playing any sports. I also didn't watch any sports. And playing sports became almost impossible because I would start getting out of breath just walking up a small staircase. Now, as you could imagine, I started to feel incredibly insecure and incredibly self-conscious. And this led me to start hating myself and hating how I looked in the mirror. And I wasn't able to keep up with the other kids. And I wasn't as popular, and this led me to feel like an outcast and caused me an insane amount of depression to the point where I had to go on antidepressants. Now, not only that, and yeah, this is all like the negative stuff, but we get to the positive stuff later. But when I was 4 years old, I was lucky enough to be diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, and some like rare Pokemon card called ODD. Not many people know what that is, which is basically like my brain's triggered to do the opposite of whatever you tell me to. Like if you say left, I'm just gonna say right, no matter what. Right? And so as you could imagine, none of this really helped in terms of behavioral aspects as well. I was kind of a problem child. I got suspended a lot. If any of my teachers are watching this, they're probably gonna laugh, right? It was not fun to deal with, but I was lucky enough that some teachers, some authority figures, mainly like my principals, they knew that I wasn't like a complete terrible kid. So they saw like I had somewhat potential, so they never like kicked me out of school. Anyways, I really wanted to feel normal again, and I had to do something to change. So now over time, and I'm sure a lot of you could relate to this on your own weight loss journey, or on your own struggles when it comes to weight loss. It wasn't like I just did one thing and it magically worked. No, I tried, right? I went to probably over 10 different therapists, nutritionists, dietitians, all in the hope to try to feel normal again. But later on, I realized that a lot of them were honestly kind of useless because they didn't really give me any tangible advice. Right? The only thing that ever really kind of worked was I went to a social worker who kind of treated me more like a life coach instead of just asking me how that feels. He was giving me tangible advice. He would give me things to work on outside of the therapy. But none of the nutritionists or the dietitians that I went to actually realized or understood that I had an eating disorder. So they'd pretty much just tell me, you know, eat more vegetables, eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, which ultimately was pretty dumb because I would just end up gagging or throwing the food up. Obviously, incredibly demotivating. And so from this point on, all my health complications just got worse and worse and worse because of all this crap that I was putting my body with. I was poisoning my body with. So I had to go to the doctor or sick kids hospital or for blood tests almost every week to the point where the nurse knew my name and vice versa. I remember when I was 12 years old, my liver count was so bad, I had to be on like a liver transplant list. It was the equivalent of an 80-year-old's alcoholic. A normal liver count is somewhere around like 40 to maximum 80. Mine was almost 300. Then like a year later, I was still going through sick kids and they tried to help, but none of it really worked. The only thing that I took away from the sick kids was when I went there, the one thing that really helped, which probably avoided me from like dying of diabetes, was I switched from regular Coke to Diet Coke. If any of you are watching this, please, Now they have Coke Zero. Stop drinking regular Coke. Just drink Coke Zero. You're not going to die, or you're definitely going to die a lot later in life, because you're not going to for sure get diabetes from drinking like a liter of Coke a day. All right, so now we're going to fast forward to when I was 17. This is the heaviest I ever have been in my life. I was 370 pounds. And at this point, I actually weighed more than the scale read at my doctor's office. So I don't know what my biggest weight was. I know for sure it was around 370. I don't think I ever touched 380, but nevertheless, I think my doctor's scale's max was like 360. And now at this point, I remember I had a visit with my doctor, and he sat me down, he looked over my blood work, and he's just like, dude, you gotta change. And he was like, man, if you don't change, you're gonna be dead by 24. And he wasn't wrong, right? But I'll be honest, this didn't really push me to change, because I was at such a low point. I was so depressed. I was so demotivated. Like, I tried to attempt suicide twice before that. And the sad reality is this honestly was like an opportunity to kind of eat myself to death. That was my sad goal. So here I was, a young puff. All I would do is eat McDonald's 4 times a day, play video games from 12 or 16 hours a day. And honestly, I did all of this to escape my sad, depressed reality. But one day, I woke up and I was like, I'm fucking sick of this. I am sick of living this way, of being sick and tired. I was sick of feeling like shit every day. I was appalled by the fact that I literally couldn't see my own dick in the mirror. And I was spending upwards of $5,000 a month, I'm not joking, of poisoning my body with eating McDonald's 4 times a day or something, of things of that nature. It wasn't always McDonald's, but that was the easiest go-to. I finally wanted to stop and change for good. And for the first time in my life, I had my own internal motivation to actually want to change. So I decided to do something about it. I first started by cutting back McDonald's 4 to 2 times a day. Now, I was also doing some ridiculously dumb exercises because I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to do push-ups when I was 370 pounds. I was trying to do crunches and sit-ups and burpees and all this other dumb crap. Anything I possibly could so I can go back to feeling and looking like a normal person. But I honestly just remember looking and feeling like a dying fish gasping for oxygen. It's funny to think back on this. But now it started to work. I lost about 20 pounds a couple months into doing this. Now, I didn't know what it meant at the time, but I hit a giant wall. I hit what's called a plateau. No matter what type of exercises I tried to do, or no matter what type of fancy diets I tried to do to myself, the scale wouldn't budge. And I would get so sad. I would wake up in the morning, expect the weight to drop. I'd be so sad for the rest of the day. And then I'd like starve myself the next day. I started to feel so demotivated and so frustrated, and the depression started to kick in because I tried everything I possibly knew what to do or how to do, and nothing would work. I didn't want to go to the gym because I felt super insecure and self-conscious about my body. I used to make a joke, or I used to make fun of myself all the time, saying I was too fat to fit in the door at the gym. So I confided into my dad, AKA Puffy Senior. And I told him, after all of these years and struggling and going to this place and that place, I finally have my own internal motivation. I'm actually ready to change and do something about this. But I don't have the knowledge or the guidance in order to do this properly. I don't know what I'm doing. So I kid you not, I'm a huge believer in things in life happen for a reason. I didn't ask my dad to do this. I just told him, like, hey man, I'm struggling. And I was just venting my frustrations. So my dad, because he's an amazing person, I love him to death, I take a bullet for him. He types in on Google, in-home personal trainer. And without me knowing, he signed me up, or technically him, right? But he put like it was for me, for a meeting. And the next thing I knew, the next day, or I think it was 2 days later, this beautiful Indian man who I refer to and call Indian Hulk, named Nitish, came into my life. I guess the old adage is the rest is history. I love this guy to death. My dad and Nitish are the only 2 people I would probably take a bullet for. And I know he's probably gonna watch this video, and he knows how much I love him and how much he means to me. Because unlike all of those therapists and nutritionists and doctors and this and that and all these other people that I was going to year in and year out, Nitish didn't give me some generic BS advice. He didn't just tell me to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli and get over it. He understood exactly what was wrong with me. He gave me a custom tailored approach to fit me, my body, and my goals. And also, my stubborn ass mindset. For me, he wasn't just a trainer. He wasn't just a coach. He was like, and became my life coach, and became a mentor, because he helped me in so many other aspects of my life, not just with a diet, and not just with nutrition, and not just with exercises. He helped me in other aspects as well, which I'll forever be grateful for him. And that's why, for me, I take the same or similar approach. It's not just, I don't like being called a trainer. I prefer being called a coach, because it's more than just, oh, here's your diet, and here's your workout plan. There's a lot that goes into it, right? So he would actually train me in my basement 5 times a week, because we basically created like this little home gym, which was just a really shitty bench off of Amazon, which later broke because I was fat, and a pair of dumbbells, which I actually still have to this day. They're just outside of this frame that you can't see, but they're on the floor right there. And I remember Nitish wanted me to, I guess, prove my level of commitment and to show to him and myself that I was actually serious about doing it. So he made me buy these dumbbells. And for me, this was one of the biggest investments I've ever made in my life. Now, COVID changed a lot of pricing when it comes to gym equipment, but way back, like 10 years ago, I remember they were like $600. And for someone who was 17 years old, who worked a minimum wage job, that was like a quarter of my life savings. But I did it. And I proved to him that I was serious. And I proved to myself that I was serious because I made that investment, right? And then I bought the bench. And then as time started passing, I started to see him less frequently. I started to see him once or twice a week. And sometimes I'd see him like 5 times in a row in a week and then not for the rest of the month. And we'd go over everything, like what my diet's going like, what my exercises are like, what my form's like, adjustments with the meal plan. And then he would give me stuff that I could then do on my own. Now, I treated weight loss like my full-time job for the first 8 months. This is how I was able to average almost 4 pounds a week consistently for about 7 to 8 months. And that's how I lost like 100 pounds in 10 months. But this is hard for many people to accomplish and keep up consistently because you have kids, you have a job, you have other shit in your life. I'm telling you this in this video because literally I did not have an income. I did not have a job. I'm grateful for the fact that my dad was able to help me on this journey, right? And I didn't have a job and I didn't have any other priorities. I would wake up and work out a lot. Okay, so if we fast forward, the home gym setup that I had was getting way too easy, right? Because the dumbbells only went up to like 50 pounds. So I had to start going to the gym. I needed heavier loads. I needed machines. I needed to basically like give myself, my body, more challenge. And then basically Nitish had the idea to work out with me at the gym. He would train me, but we would work out together to make it look like he wasn't training me, right? And so then we would go together to the gym 5 consecutive days or 4 consecutive days in the week, and we'd go over what the exercises are, what I'm doing for the meal plan. I would take videos of him doing the form, and he would take videos of me doing the form because I'm like more of a visual learner than like a written learner. And then I'd be on my own for the next month. So slowly I went from in-person training to online. And this is one of many, many, many reasons I respect Nitish so gratefully, because most other trainers would have seen me and been like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to train with me for the rest of your life. You're gonna have to come like 3 times a week for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. He did the total opposite. He knew that it was best for me to learn how to work out on my own so I'd be able to take care of my body long term. And so from there, I started going to the gym every day, even though Nitish wanted me to take a rest day, but I didn't listen to him. I genuinely would go to the gym every single day, and I would follow the plan that he gave me and continued the amazing progress and results. Now at this point, I started to turn my hobby into reality and start going to culinary school or baking, because honestly, I didn't really know what else to do. And the one thing that I really enjoyed doing when I was puffy was baking. And newsflash, I know this is a crazy, crazy concept. Trying to lose weight or trying not to gain weight is very difficult when you're baking all the time. When I went to culinary school, I was still on plan. The mental discipline that I had to have was insane. Baking fresh bread or cakes or like these amazing tasting chocolates every day, I never ate any of them. I brought them home so my friends and family can eat them. Now I hear all the time, so many people say they can't find the time to go to the gym because they're too busy. But it's not a matter of not having time. It's a simple matter of your priorities and where it falls. Let me give you a perfect example of my actual routine. I'll break it down for you on what I was doing. Now, keep in mind, this is after I lost 100 pounds. I still wanted another 50, 60 to go. So I was still motivated. I'd wake up around 4:30 in the morning and I'd bike to the gym. And yeah, don't worry, my bikes had lights on it. Okay, so nobody was gonna crash into me. And I'd wear my helmet, but I'd spend about 3 hours at this gym. I know it sounds like a lot, but I also had a shower and change, etc. And then I would bike all the way back home. I would eat. I would get on the subway. I would then go to culinary school where I would spend 8 to 12 hours every day, a lot of it on the feet. And then I'd come back at like 11 p.m. And I would repeat this for 4 or 5 times every single week for about a year and a half. So if you're telling me that you don't have time to go to the gym, this is simply not true. It's just a matter of how important going to the gym really is to you. Now with this new routine and this new mental discipline and the habits that I've built with the help of Nitish and my coach, I was able to lose 150 plus pounds. And as you could probably tell, keep it off for good. Now after a couple of months of working as a baker, I realized it's not really something that I wanted to do long term because of certain aspects where it interferes with your social life and also the curriculum at school. Like, For example, anybody that works as a baker knows they have to get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning because you need to make the product before people wake up. And it's just, you don't have any social life. You really have nothing. It's the same thing as like most chefs. But anyways, I could bake really well. I could not decorate well. And that's where I disagreed with the curriculum. And so I was at a crossroads of what to do. I had to find something else to do. I had to find a better career path. I had to find something that was going to make me fulfilled and happy, even if I wasn't going to get paid for it. That is something that Papa Puffy always told me. When you're doing something for work or do whatever you want to do for work, make sure that you really, really enjoy it, because then it doesn't really feel so much like a slave. You're not doing, you're not enjoying your work. He cut hair for like 40 years and he loved it. Right? So then I started to look into the idea of personal training, because I really loved the idea of helping people that were in the same boat or same position as I was and help them be able to accomplish and live a healthier life. Now, with the guidance of Nitish, who taught me so much, and starting to reading books, starting to take courses and certifications and create a bunch of knowledge on fitness and especially with nutrition, I then started my journey as a trainer. I got a bunch of odd jobs in the fitness industry. I did work at a bunch of different gyms. I'm not going to name any of them, but like, one of which was like the biggest commercial gym in Canada. It's a Canadian company. It's not the one based in LA. It taught me a lot of good, but it also taught me a lot of bad about the industry. Mainly, most of these commercial gyms do not care about you at all, okay? I would like to separate privately owned gyms, like one guy owns the gym. It's a private gym, not a commercial chain. They tend to care a lot more about their members, but commercial gyms, they don't care at all. They don't even make most of their money from your memberships. All they wanted to do was sign everybody up for training, even if they didn't need it, and make them sign their life away to some contract and keep them coming back for like the rest of their life as long as they could. Like, I get it, it's a business, but there was a lot of tactics and things that they taught me that I'm not going to divulge that were really, really messed up. And so that's when I started my brand or my company called puffygotbuffy. Now, the reason why it is called puffygotbuffy is because when I was much younger, I would hate it when anybody called me fat. I'd get really, really mad. And one day I was driving with my dad, and he was beating himself up. He was really upset that he let his kid get like so big, but he couldn't say like, dude, why do you have to be so fat? It would have killed me. So he's like, man, why do you have to be so puffy? And at the time I had the huge passion for baking, and I was like, oh, that's such a cool name. I'm gonna open up Puffy's Bakery. And so then my friends started to call me Puffy, mainly because my name's Adam. I don't hate that name Adam, but there's a lot of people named Adam. It's not that unique or original, right? So fast forward, Nitish always called me Puffy, mainly because I don't really like being called Adam. And when I lost 100 pounds, it was pretty much right near my birthday. And I remember this is probably the greatest gift I've ever received. I'm more of a sentimental person. I don't care if you buy me a Bugatti or a Lamborghini, although that would be nice. You could do that. I'm not saying don't, but it means so much more to me when there's like thought and effort put into a gift. So right before we were heading to our workout at the gym, he pulls up, it was like this bag, take the things out of the bag. He pulls out this shirt, and I have this picture, which you're probably gonna see on the screen. I just remember his smile gleaming from ear to ear. And it was this Under Armour shirt, which I only saw the front of it. The Under Armour shirt, it was like a nice blue Under Armour shirt, and I wore it all the time. And on the back, it said puffygotbuffy. And I thought this was like the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen, ever heard. And it had a nice ring, and it was so original and unique. And so what I did, my Instagram handle at the time was like whatever. It was like my name. I converted it from Facebook. It was my name with a bunch of numbers, right? And so I was like, let me change my Instagram handle. And so I did that. And then everybody was like, yo, that's so cool. How did that happen? And well, now the really cool thing about this, I actually have it trademarked. Now, I don't even know if you can see this, but there you go. It's literally trademarked by me, which is awesome. So I had the in-person training, and then about 4 or 5 years ago, I transitioned to online, and I have now had the privilege to help over 100 people lose over 50 pounds. I've helped over 10 lose over 100, which not only allowed them to become like the more confident versions of themselves, but it made them have a healthier and much longer life. So now for some of them, they could go play with their kids or their grandkids without pain or gasping for air. So I want to make this video on this entire history of me. So if we fast forward to present day, or I guess somewhat present day, not literally right this second, I was looking into getting skin removal surgery. Because when you go from around 370 pounds all the way to 190, then you build muscle and you go back up to like 215, you're left with some flabby skin around your body. Now, before you tell me, I don't want to lose the weight because I'm going to have dead skin, would you rather be dead or have dead skin? So moving on, that should not be a factor on why you don't want to start your weight loss journey, because I've heard that before, believe it or not. Now, I want to give a shout out to my friend and former client, who later became my friend, Sammy, who I don't know if she's even going to watch this, but hi. If it wasn't for her, I genuinely I would not have gone through with the surgery, okay, because I'm terrified of surgery. So I helped her lose over 120 pounds. She looks better, feels better, all that jazz. I have a video of her journey, I think, on this channel. And she was left with a lot of dead skin like me. And she got the surgery done without any complications, right? And I was pretty much there seeing her on a month-to-month basis with the progress, with the scars, with the recovery process, etc. So, believe it or not, I actually ended up going to the same place, same doctor, same surgeon that she did, because it was like ease of mind, right? And I was fucking terrified. But after losing over 150 pounds and having to take and going through a lot of BS on the way here and having to take action every day, you build up a lot of mental fortitude, which made it a lot easier for me to go through with the surgery. So now I look like this, but there were struggles along the way. The surgery wasn't easy. I couldn't work out for like 8 weeks, and there was a lot of pain like the first week or two. Now, I'm only telling you this to be transparent, but like also not every single person that loses weight needs to like get weight loss removal surgery or skin removal surgery. So this was my whole weight loss journey. And this isn't just about me losing weight, but it's also the person that I've become, the business that I've built, the people that I've helped. And I really hope that this story inspires you to take action and start your own journey. That's pretty much the whole reason for me making this video, to inspire whoever is watching this, to inspire you or who's ever gonna watch this. Even if I get one person, it could be you, but even if I get one person to get off the couch and go for a walk and start taking action towards the weight loss journey, it was worth it. My mission's somewhat accomplished, right? Because I feel like everybody has a purpose in life, and this is mine, to help you or who's ever watching this on their weight loss journey. Now, I want to tell you that you're not alone on this journey. This game of life is fucking hard. There's going to be a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but not taking action and not starting is not the answer. You see, our most valuable assets as humans is time. It's not money. So when we turn 80 years old and you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be saying, damn man, I really wish I had more money. You're going to be saying, I wish I had more time. You're like, more time to play with my kids, more time to go to the park. You're going to regret not starting and not taking action. I have never regretted anything that I have done. I've only regretted things that I do not. So if you're really serious about losing weight and becoming a more confident and happier and healthier version of you, I want to help you 100% for free through my weight loss community, because I know how difficult this journey is, and I know what it feels like to not have any support system. So I'm willing to help others on their journey who have the same struggles that I do, but only if they're serious about taking action. So if that's you, click the link in the description below to join the free weight loss community. We are not only going to be able to get direct help from me, but you're also going to get access to dozens of people like you in the same position with the same struggles, all with the sole purpose of uplifting and motivating each other. So click probably the second link in the description below if you would like access to this. There is a limited amount of members that are able to join. So if this is something that is seriously like of interest of you, I wouldn't wait to take action. I would join that. And if you would like a free one-on-one session with me, so I can help you create a customized game plan to help you on your weight loss journey and lose weight as fast as humanly possible, so you can feel better, look better, have more confidence, fit into the clothes you want to wear, and do this without any of the guesswork, with guaranteed results, then I would encourage you to book your free game plan chat with me in one of the links in the description below. This isn't going to be something where I give you some BS templated meal plan or workout plan and shove a bunch of weight loss pills down your throat. We're going to go over your body, your preferences, your goals, your desires, your dislikes, to create a tailored game plan for you for guaranteed success, so you can look and feel the healthiest you've ever been and you've ever felt. Just like Daniel, who lost over 120 pounds. He didn't like how he looked in the mirror. He didn't like how he felt. He hated where his life was going. And then he completely 180'd that and changed everything. Okay? Just like Kim, she lost over 100 pounds. She had chronic hip pain, chronic back pain. That was all avoided. And she got into the best shape of her life for her second wedding. Just like Mike, he went from walking with a cane. He could barely put any pressure. He had a messed up hip, messed up back, all this complications. To 2 years later, he lost over 120 pounds and he loves the gym now. And just like Colin, he had kids and he didn't want to die for his kids. That's when he reached out to me. He's like, bro, I need help. I don't know what to do with nutrition. I don't know what to do in the gym. I need accountability. I need support. Can you please help me? and we killed it. He lost over 150 pounds. So if you want to be the next person to lose at least 20 pounds off your body, guaranteed, and most importantly, keep it off for the rest of your life, not the never-ending up and down yo-yo cycling that you've probably been guilty of just like me. And then click the link in the description right now, because I only really have so much time to hop on these calls, so I can really only take like 3 or 5 per week. So act now before your spot gets taken. I will talk to you then, or see you in the next video.